You probably think of yourself as a law-abiding citizen. You don't rob banks, you don't steal cars, and you generally play by the rules. But what if I told you that by the time you finished your breakfast this morning, you probably committed at least 3 federal or local crimes? Our legal systems are built on layers of hundreds of years of laws, many of which are so outdated or specific that they become invisible. We break them while we're walking the dog, checking our emails, or even just singing in the shower. Today, we're looking at 12 things you do every day that are technically illegal. From the weirdly specific to the surprisingly common, these are the crimes you're committing without even knowing it. Stick around until the end because number one is something almost everyone does, and it could technically land you in a massive legal mess. Let's dive into your secret life of crime. Starting off with a modern classic, using someone else's Wi-Fi without permission. Maybe you're at a cafe and you jump on a neighbor's unsecured network, or you borrow your roommate's hotspot without asking. In many jurisdictions, this falls under unauthorized access to a computer system. Under the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, this can technically be seen as hacking. The reality, while the police aren't going to kick down your door for using linksys_guest, if that data usage causes a financial loss or interferes with a business, you are on thin legal ice. How many times have you signed up for a website using a fake name like John Doe or McLovin? Technically, providing false information on a website's terms of service can be interpreted as a violation of the CFAA. When you click I agree, you are entering a legally binding contract. By lying about your identity, you are technically committing access device fraud. The science? This is a gray area, but companies have actually used this in court to prosecute individuals who misused their platforms. Your joke name is, legally speaking, a fraudulent identity. Have you ever used a crushed penny machine at a museum? Or maybe you've defaced a coin for an art project. According to Section 331 of Title 18 of the U.S. Code, it is illegal to falsify, forge, alter, or mutilate any coin of the United States. The catch, it only becomes a serious federal crime if you do it with the intent to defraud. But technically, the act of altering the physical currency is a violation of the law. So that flattened penny in your drawer? Evidence. You're at a birthday party and everyone starts singing Happy Birthday. For decades, this was actually a copyrighted song owned by Warner Chappell Music. Every time it was sung in a public performance, which includes some restaurants or public venues, a royalty was technically owed. While Happy Birthday finally entered the public domain in 2016, millions of other songs haven't. If you play a Spotify playlist loudly in your small business or office without a public performance license, you are technically a copyright infringer. A friend has a headache and you give them one of your prescription-strength ibuprofen or an old allergy pill. In many places, it is a crime to distribute prescription medication to someone it wasn't prescribed to, even if it's just a pill and even if you're not charging for it. This falls under drug distribution laws. It sounds extreme, but the law doesn't distinguish between a supportive friend and an unauthorized distributor when it comes to controlled or prescription substances. You want to leave a flyer or a nice note for your neighbor, so you pop it directly into their mailbox. Stop right there. That is a federal offense. According to the mailbox restriction law, only authorized U.S. Postal Service employees can place items in a mailbox. If it doesn't have a stamp and wasn't delivered by the postman, it shouldn't be in there. The reason? This was designed to prevent mailboxes from being stuffed with junk mail that interferes with actual postal delivery. Have you ever opened a piece of mail that was delivered to your house but addressed to the previous tenant? Under the obstruction of correspondence law, opening mail addressed to someone else is a federal crime. Even if it's an accident, you are technically interfering with the privacy of the U.S. mail. The correct legal move is to write "Return to Sender" and put it back in the box. Opening it just to see what it is a felony. We all do it. The street is empty, the crosswalk is 50 feet away, so you just jog across the middle. Jaywalking is one of the most common broken laws in history. But did you know why it exists? In the 1920s, auto industry lobbyists pushed for jaywalking laws to shift the blame of car accidents from drivers to pedestrians. It was a PR campaign that became a permanent law. You're not just being efficient, you're a victim of a 100-year-old marketing tactic. You see a nice piece of furniture or a stack of magazines in someone's recycling bin on the curb. You decide to save it. Technically, in many cities, once trash or recycling is placed on the curb, it becomes the property of the city or the waste management company. Taking it is technically theft of services or scavenging. Taking a pen from the office, printing a personal recipe on the company printer. This is technically embezzlement or theft of company property. While most bosses won't fire you over a Bic pen, the legal definition of theft doesn't care about the price tag. It cares about the ownership. Finally, dropping a tiny gum wrapper or standing too long in front of a store window. Littering, even the smallest scrap, is a crime in every state. And loitering is a vague law often used to give police the power to move people along. So, conclusion. Our lives are tangled in a web of rules. Most of them are for safety, but some of them are just relics of a different time. The goal isn't to live in fear, it's to realize how complex our society really is. If you learned something new today, hit that subscribe button. We're all about uncovering the hidden layers of the world. Comment below, which of these crimes did you commit today? Let's confess in the comments. Stay safe and stay legal. I'll see you in the next one.